What's up, gang? This is Mike with MrNoFlip.com, and I'm playing the tombak, which is the Persian drum, and it's kind of like the same thing with the real estate investing or picking up any new sports or doing any new activity. It requires a lot of practice, and if you don't practice, you can't improve. So I just picked this up, and as you can see, my skills are not that good, but I'm practicing. Now, $1 million Bitcoin. I want to ask you guys, do you guys own any Bitcoin? You guys own any Litecoin, Ethereum? Do you guys have any cryptocurrencies? I'm not sure if it's going to go to $1 million today or tomorrow, but I foresee that for sure in the next 5 to 10 years because it's going to be the new world currency. Okay. Great, amazing news. Just a few weeks ago, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin was $3,500, roughly around there. In just a matter of weeks, today is over $6,500. Last time I looked, it was like 6,900 and some change, okay? Which is freaking amazing if you notice how fast it's skyrocketing, which is pretty awesome because it's a great opportunity with the upcoming crash, okay? Now, when I got into cryptocurrencies, I thought they were a scam, right? I thought, oh man, this is a scam. Bankers are telling me it's a scam. That rich guy, what's his name? Bill Buffett or whatever his name is, he's saying Bitcoins is a scam. So I thought, this is not something for me. However, I was willing to invest just a tad money into it and just try it out and experiment with it. And once I got just a tab into it and I bought enough, I realized that, man, wow, this is such empowering. Just I can buy it, I can send it from one account to another wallet just like this. I don't have to drive to a bank. I don't have to set up a bank account. I don't have to do any of this stuff. And I was hooked and I started investing. And great news with me was that when I learned about cryptocurrencies, the Bitcoin was going up and up and up. But since I'm what's called a FIRE investor, I realized that the asset is in the big bubble. And I thought to myself, once it comes 50% off, I'll dive into it. And guess what? After 19,000 and some change, it went to 11,000 and some change. And that's when I started investing to it heavily. From 11,000 to 3,500, I've been buying it up, okay, throughout. Now, as you guys saw, just in a matter of days, I don't know if you guys followed it, Bitcoin was 3,500 and some change, and today is 6,500 and some change, almost pushing $7,000, okay? And it's very, very fast. Now, I think that definitely is going to go to the last time high for sure, in my opinion, okay? So that's why I bought it 50% off. So I think that the very minimum in this bull run will hit $25,000, and on the upwards, anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000. And I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie to you guys because I invested heavily into cryptocurrency as soon as I rolled up my sleeve. In my last mastermind, the Abundance Club, we meet every Saturday. I gave out Bitcoin to all my students there. That was maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and hopefully they still have these Bitcoins. Hopefully they're watching it and seeing the price go up, because when I give it to them was roughly about 5,900, and so it'd be great to see that their money has increased. Now, I'm a big believer in cryptocurrencies because it's the people's money. It empowers you, it empowers people in Mexico, it empowers people in India, it empowers people that are not bankable. Plus, it depowers big corporations like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, all the big bankers. It depowers continuous wars and killing innocent people. It depowers middlemen like MoneyGram, Visa, MasterCard, Western Union, all these guys that charge money. Now, if you ever owned a business and you ever accepted credit cards, you realize that you spent a lot of money just accepting Visa and MasterCard. For example, for my moving company, on a yearly basis, I would pay at least $60,000 just to accept credit cards and the 1% or 3% fees they charge. So imagine that, okay? That's just for Visa or MasterCard credit card processing charges. So to be able to, accept money from someone that wants buy my product in Great Britain, in Canada, without having to rely on Visa, MasterCard is pretty awesome. They just go ching and I get paid. And the great thing is I may lose 5 cents, 10 cents versus $2 or $3 or $5. That's why if you go to a gas station, they say you need to have a minimum of $5 because pretty much like $1, almost of it is going to, or close to it is going to the credit card exchange processing fees. So I'm very excited about cryptocurrencies, guys. Bitcoin. I'm extremely excited that it's just taking off and that my speculation on this was correct. And like I said, I told my cousin that's medical school, about 3 weeks ago, a month ago, hey, you may want to consider looking Bitcoin. And it was $3,500. If she just put $100 in, now she would have had $200 because it already has doubled in price. Okay, so pretty amazing. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you this is what you should do. I'm just telling you this is what I'm doing. And I urge you guys to do your own due diligence and look into the matter. Okay, I'm not the owner of Bitcoins or any of the cryptocurrencies out there. Just a believer of them, and I've invested heavily into them. Okay, and I'm just sharing with you guys. Now let's go talk about underwater houses. Now in 2019, there's so many underwater houses out there that's unbelievable. Now underwater houses are going to be two types. Okay, but type B is going to dramatically increase over the next 6 to 2 to 3 years significantly. But type 1 that I see all the time are people that have beautiful homes, they have great jobs, but their house has no equity. What do you think that their house has no equity? Put it down on there on your comments. Well, I'll tell you. Their house has no equity because they refinanced it out. They use a home equity loan. They sucked up all their equity in the property. You wouldn't believe how many students are bringing me deals that the homeowners, even though they might not be in a financial situation, in today's hot market, as people say it is, which is not, they're not able to sell their home because they don't have enough equity. Now, they sucked up that equity through home refinance, remortgage, some way or another. They tapped out all their equity. And so we have a lot of people right now on the sidelines that want to sell their homes. They're not using real estate agents because they sucked up all their equity and they're trying to sell it on their own. And the other type of the B type, that's A, people that don't have equity right now. There's a lot of them like that, okay? All over America. Because bankers allow people to just use the equity in their homes like an ATM and just suck all of it out. And now they don't got no money. They don't got no money in their house. They already may spent all that money on buying more stuff they don't need. Who knows? I don't know what they did with it, but I'm making an assumption. Now, there's another level of underwater homes that are about to pop up. And these are anyone that has bought a home in the last 3 to 5 years easily. Okay, for example, there are people that are already underwater in California already, not because they refinanced their home, no, because they just bought their home at the top of the market and the market has already shifted. Okay, they're just not televising it already. Okay, and the market has already shifted. Plus, on those areas like California, there are stupid real estate agents that I knew a couple on my Facebook personally that were advising their clients to pay $10,000, $20,000 above asking price because in their mind, they're telling their clients that, you know what, there's so much competition, you're not going to get this deal unless you pay them extra. Okay, so what do you think happens to those buyers right now? Like in California that pay $10,000, $20,000 above asking price, that didn't even negotiate below asking price, and they paid over. Well, guess what? They're already feeling the effects of homes not having any equity. Okay, zero zilch, and those are just the small percentage, but the majority of percentage are people that just may pay the asking price or maybe negotiated just a little bit off the asking price, and they just bought the house in the last 3 to 5 years. Anyone that's bought a house in the last 3 to 5 years, and they use one of these programs with like no money down VA programs, they use some of these programs where they got a home with like 3.5% FHA down or barely no money down, or even if they put 10 grand down, they're still going to be upside down because of the market the way it is. Okay, the market is majorly shifting. They're just not televising it. So that said, there's going to be two types of homeowners that are going to be underwater. We're going to have homeowners that sucked up all their equity through home equity loans or other ways. And I see a lot of that right now. I've talked to a lot of sellers. My students have brought me deals all over America in my profit sharing coaching. And then there's going to be the B type that's coming right now, where these people are not going to have any equity because the market has changed, and then two, because they haven't owned the home long enough to build equity due to the amortization. And if you don't know what amortization is, you definitely have to check it out, because that's how bankers rob people. Okay, and then with the economy shifting, you got type A negative equity because they sucked it all out. You got type B that just recently bought and they may pay over the asking price, or just the asking price, or just even a little below the asking price, but either way, they got into a home without putting significant down, and now they have no equity. And then when the market changes, you have these two motivated people that are already going to be in foreclosure selling, and then everyone else that wants to liquidate because for whatever reason they're downsizing because they lost their job, or their job fired them, or they had to go to a different state or whatever. So there's going to be a massive amount of people trying to sell. And the people that actually have equity, when they try to sell, they're going to be competing with people that don't have any equity, and they're going to be doing lawn modifications, or they're going to be doing short sales, right? Which now these people are going to sell their home below what someone with equity has. And there's going to be massive foreclosures, and now the banks are trying to sell their properties because they're already foreclosed on. So it's going to be a dog-eat-dog world, because everyone's going to try to sell, right? And when everyone tries to sell, too much supply, right? And guess what's going to happen to the buyers? Well, the buyers are not going to be able to get loans because the banks are pulling in the credits. They're pulling the line of credits, they're putting the credit card limits down, and they're not going to be giving out mortgages. How do I know? Look at 2006, fourth quarter, 2007, 2008. What is the first things that banks do when they start losing money? They contract. They don't start lending. When do they lend the most? When we're about to have economic bust. Right now, right at the cusp of economic bust, lending is very, very loose. Soon as it's about to bust, is the loosest it's ever going to be. And then hits and contraction happens because they have too many bad assets. For example, Capital One of the biggest credit card companies, are pulling back their credit lines because it's unsecured debt, right? So great opportunities coming, ladies and gentlemen, for cryptocurrency investors, for real estate investors that know how to buy homes from homeowners direct. Okay, this is something that I teach at my profit sharing coaching. If you're not in it, you should get into it. It's only $20 per meeting. That's $83.25 to be exact with you a month. So if you have $20 per meeting, you can come to my real estate investment club. I don't want to call it that because it's profit sharing, because I help you cash in checks. I help you find these deals, negotiate, structure, fill out the paperwork, everything you need to cash in checks, okay? Now, normal real estate clubs, you go there and they got multiple different presenters. Today they're gonna have a foundation guy, tomorrow they're gonna have a roofer, next they're gonna have an attorney, next they're gonna have this. But all these people have one job: to sell you what they're specialized in. At Mr. No Fluff meetings, there is no sales, right? Because I tell you up front which the tools you need. There is no sales, and the only job is we don't have presenters. The only job is to do deals. So I'm gonna help you exactly do this, hold your hand to do deals, because when you cash in a check, that's when I get paid. So if you don't cash checks, I don't get paid, and we don't have the time for all the fluff because we're not selling courses. We're working on cash and checks. So if you're interested in making money in this upcoming real estate crisis, wealth exchange, There's a lot of ways to do real estate without having a pile of money. There's a lot of ways to do real estate without having credit. Okay, if you have good credit, great, but you don't have to use your credit. There's a lot of ways to do real estate if you have time to do sweat equity. And if you do what everyone else does, like banded signs, yellow letters, tax roll, then you're not going to get any deals because everyone else is teaching that stuff. For example, one of the main reasons my Flipping Wednesdays work so great is because I created it in my own brain. I didn't go and learn from someone and just regurgitate it and teach it. I created my own brain called creativity. So it works so good because no one else is doing it. And plus it's pretty sophisticated and very simple, right? So Flipping Wednesdays, if you want to generate leads in your own backyard, join the profit sharing and just get it for pennies on the dollar. If you don't want to join the profit sharing, you want to generate leads in your own backyard, you want to do real estate, then download Flipping Wednesdays at my website at mrnoflip.com. And I think it's right around $2,000. If you get it in the profit sharing coaching, you just pay a couple of pennies for it. Okay, that's the benefit of joining the mastermind, and we meet every Saturday at 10 o'clock right through your computer. Guys, thanks for watching. Click the like button. Let me know if you have any cryptocurrencies, guys, and if you do, what are they? You have Litecoin, Ethereum, Neo. What do you guys have? See you later, and I'll see you next week. Peace.